Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Welcome back. Happy Sunday.
Easter Sunday.
Easter Sunday.
Easter Sunday.
Hello, folks.
Not that really makes any
What
difference
is
to
Easter
me.
Sunday? Isn't that something to do with like Jesus coming back from the dead or something like that?
You shouldn't say that. That could be offensive to religious people.
But that's what it was about.
I have no idea what
Jesus
it's
died
about.
for our sins, then he came back to life.
Honestly, you know, December 25th is not Jesus' birthday.
What is it?
Okay.
It's the massive
I'm going to
Christ.
butcher the story.
I have no idea.
But I'm pretty sure that Christmas was a pagan holiday, and Christians made Christmas on that pagan holiday so pagans would be able to convert to Christianity easier because they already celebrate on that day. So it was when the religious crazy
It's like
war,
mental warfare.
It was like that's what religion.
Yeah.
Religion's fighting religion is.
Yeah.
It's just mental warfare, and they put it on Christmas Day, so the pagans would be able to convert to Christianity easier.
That's
like,
interesting. That's a fun.
So they just lied because they're like, we want you all to be Christian because religion's great.
Yeah.
Anyways, watch us pull religion. I bet she put religion in the jar.
She probably put religion in there. Religion is just one of those topics.
Let me see if I can think.
Wait, we have to explain our new what we just talked about, our new plan for the channel.
Oh.
So basically, if you're familiar with our last 9 videos.
This is number 9. We're crushing them.
Eddie and I, we sit here, we talk about random topics that are in a jar. We have no idea what they are. We just talk about them. And it's been really fun. And we're going to keep continuing to do that. But now we kind of want to shift the theme, or because sometimes we get a topic, we're like, oh, where do we even start with this one?
Yeah.
Cut to last episode.
Ladies.
That's kind of an interesting one.
That is an interesting topic. I don't know if I've ever
You could talk about
talked about ladies
in your life. But now we're going to try and approach our topics just through a theme of maybe how we better ourselves, or, I don't really know how to explain it yet.
I guess our idea was we're basically doing like a podcast format right now. We want to convert it into like a video format that we put out more specific ideas.
Yeah.
More specific ideas, more specific content, not just us talking shit on the couch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully maybe going forwards, there'll be more people that can maybe, gain some more insight, or,
We like sharing things.
Yeah, ideas in their own lives.
Yeah.
So we're experimenting. We don't know what we're doing. We're trying things. So stop yelling at me, Mom. Stop yelling. All right, what's our topic today, sir?
Are you happy?
Is that it?
Yeah, that's what it says.
Are you happy?
It says, are you happy? Question mark.
I guess. Like, what does happy mean? What does happy mean to you? What does it mean to you, Eddie? What is happiness to you?
That's a tough one. Happiness. Are you happy?
Are you happy?
Yeah.
So
why did you write that? Callie, why did you write, are you happy?
Because it's a hard one.
How
It makes
do you
you
answer
think.
that?
Okay, so I'll answer
now,
that.
I am genuinely happy.
Okay,
At this very moment, I am happy. Sorry.
Okay.
You can answer that. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I was basically going to say the same thing of...
At this very moment,
yeah, I'm pretty happy. Am I happy all the time? No, not specifically. Like, there's times in the day where I stub my toe or drop a stump on my foot, I'm not very happy. But you can't expect to be happy all the time.
I wasn't happy this morning.
When?
Just this morning. Like, most of the morning.
Why did you wake up wrong side of the bed kind of thing?
I don't know why I was. I just, wasn't in, I felt fine.
Yeah.
I wasn't, I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
Callie and I had a similar morning.
Yeah, it was just kind of
woke up and we're like, ugh.
I was just doing stuff, and I was I wasn't sad or upset about anything, but I was just kind of going about doing things, but I wasn't really enjoying them. I was just doing them.
Yeah.
And it was weird.
It's so weird how
I just that feeling when you feel like doing nothing.
Yeah.
You just don't have drive to do anything.
Yeah.
That's just kind of how I felt.
Yeah.
And I don't like that feeling because I like doing things. So when I have that, it makes me unhappy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very normal, though. It's very natural to be.
very natural.
It's just boredom at the end of the day. It's just, I'm bored, but I don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, are you happy? So I feel like happiness is such a weird thing. I hate that word, happiness. Or are you happy? I hate that because I think a lot of people have this misconception that, happiness is this thing that, like money can't buy happiness, or you should have a job that makes you happy. And it's like, what does that mean? Happy. Like, does that mean excited? Is that,
I feel like happiness is just compared to like movies, social media, and basically anything else portrayed that we view that isn't real life. Like let's say like relationships, like happy relationships.
Yeah.
When you think about happy relationships, you is an umbrella term. General people, a lot of people just go to thinking about who they see on Instagram and who they see in movies, and they see like these little tidbit highlights of these really beautiful highlights of relationships, and then they compare their entire relationship to that one thing. But then you can also do that with their life. People do that all the time. Where they see movies or they see people who are super productive or have like really good jobs or make lots of money, blah blah blah, and they compare their entire life to like the one little piece of success from somebody else's life, and it makes them unhappy that they're not like at that point. But it's impossible to be like that all the time.
Totally.
And I feel like people who are, wow, this kind of jumped almost to a different topic, but still on happiness.
Dive deep.
I feel like people who are always happy, always positive, are just a little bit full of shit.
Definitely fake.
I feel like it's a bit of a...
They're lying to themselves if they think they're happy all the time.
Those people who are like always just like super pumped, super positive. It's like, you gotta be down sometimes.
Yeah. Some people are really good at putting that on in front of like other people, and like sort of like having that like customer service smile basically at the end of the day. Is sort of what
they're
that is.
They're basically going through life doing customer service.
The way I think about this a lot is really quite simple, I guess. You can't really have your highs without your lows. So to me, in my life, I feel like I wouldn't have had my really great times and super fulfilling experiences and like super satisfying moments if I didn't have those lows, sort of like dark, scary, turbulent times.
You need comparison. Well. I feel like you need you need to be sad or upset or go through hard times to know what it's like to be happy.
Yeah.
Because if you were happy all the time, there would be no point to it.
It's all relative.
It's all relative, right?
Yeah.
So, like, that's one of the things is, like, people striving to be happy in a good mood, like, all the time. It's like, if that was true, if you could actually be happy all the time, on, like, day 5, you'd get bored of it.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't want to be happy
because you'd be so
anymore.
used to it, it wouldn't make you happy anymore because you're used to it. That's just the new normal. Yeah. That's when I think of, like, even the concept of heaven or hell. Hell especially. Hell's really interesting to me because the thought of you're in this place forever and ever and ever, and it's always bad. You're always being burned and tortured. It's like, how long does it take of having a hot needle stuck into you before you're just like, oh yeah, I had this like 20 times yesterday.
That is a legitimate thing.
Yeah.
That apparently people who get tortured, like actually get like put in captivity and tortured, the worst part is the first part. And then, like, as time goes on,
you get used to it.
As fucked up as that is, you get used to torture.
That's why torture is so ineffective.
Yeah. So, and then another thing that I've heard kind of on this topic is an Alan Watts talk.
Deep guy.
Love that guy. Very deep guy. And he basically talks about, like, if you could dream any dream, so if you could live any dream for as long as you want, there would come a time where you would get sick of the dreams that are perfect and happy and lovely and outgoing and beautiful, and you'd get bored of them and you'd go, I want to experience pain. I want to experience something I don't know. I want to go into the unknown. Yeah. So it's basically saying if you could control your mood, your happiness, your outcome, blah, 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 eventually you'd get bored of it and you would start to experiment with the unknown. Yeah. You'd start to experience with pain and then you'd get life. Yeah. So he basically made it like life is actually life with pain and suffering and all the negativities is actually what you would end up wanting. Yeah. Instead of just having happiness. Yeah. I remember like when I heard that I was like,
well, I like to think about
that's
too.
So true.
Think of extremely sheltered and protected kids that grow up. Yeah. Like they don't miss anything because they don't know. Like say you're completely sheltered and you're homeschooled and your parents take really good care of you. They feed you well. They keep you active. They whatever. Like everything's like as an outsider looking in, everything's good.
Yeah.
But then to that kid's probably going to grow up like super messed up because they never get to experience like pain or suffering. Not hardcore pain or suffering, but just like on a small level of basically problem solving. That's the way I look at pain and suffering. Is like, this is sort of a level of problem solving of how do I make this stop? And how do I make this pain and suffering not pain and suffering? How do I make this into something good? Yeah. That's the way I look at it. But
there's also the people who have, which has kind of become one of my favorite terms, they become well-adjusted to injustice, and it's almost the reverse, is that they've experienced so much pain, so much suffering, that they almost haven't experienced happiness.
Right.
And they don't know what happiness is.
Yeah.
So like the tiniest little bit of joy is something that's like incredible.
Yeah.
Right? So it's almost, there's like two sides to it.
Or it's probably so scary because they don't know it that they try to just shut it out.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like having that perspective of kind of the extremes on both sides.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the people who are, I wouldn't say most in control, but in most understanding, or they understand their emotions the most, are the people who have experienced both extreme pain, not physical pain, just some type of pain, mental pain, physical pain, whatever, and extreme happiness, like extreme bliss.
Yeah.
And I feel like when you get both, you kind of see the two ends of the spectrum, and then you kind of realize that like you have to be in the middle because both are so rare, both are so intense, they're so necessary that you once you get them, you realize that you couldn't be at one or the other all the time. You would even if you could, if you had the option, you get sick of it, right?
Yeah.
Or it would just die down.
You get used to it.
Yeah. One of the things, another thing that's kind of along those lines is the reason people think things will make, or think, I'm having real trouble talking tonight.
Keep going, mate.
The reason people think material items will make them happier is because we are able to imagine extremely happy moments and extremely blissful feelings, and we attach them to these things that we think are going to bring us that feeling.
Yeah.
And then when we don't get that feeling, which obviously we're not going to because you always put like unreasonable expectations onto it, you drop and it makes it worse.
Yeah.
So it's that feeling that like, I'm going to get this thing, or I'm going to get a boyfriend or a girlfriend or whatever, and they're going to make my life perfect.
Yeah.
But it doesn't, and you're like, oh shit.
Damn.
And instead of realizing that you put that expectation way too high, they think that it's just not good enough. Right? So it's just kind of like knowing that your expectation of happiness isn't always on point, and a lot of times it's going to be too high. And I do that a lot. I do that for places.
Oh yeah.
Like when I show up, like I go like, if I'm like traveling somewhere, like when I show up, I'm going to be fucking stoked all the time.
And you get there, you're like, oh.
And I get there, I'm like,
I'm still normal.
I feel
here.
the same. It's just like hotter.
Yeah.
Or it's prettier.
It smells different.
It smells different. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really
know what to
interesting.
say
And
about
I've never
this.
actually thought about that until now, but the concept of heaven and hell, to anyone with like
Just taking a hard turn.
a somewhat decently rational mind, would realize how bullshit either of those things seem. You know? Unless they both operate in a way where you still get, like in hell, you still get happiness and emotion so that you can know what the pain is like. And then in heaven, you still get the pain and suffering so that you can know what all that happiness is like. So, and then at the end of the day, it's like, okay, you're still getting both things in either place. So it's all just back to where we are now.
I think that's why something like heaven is so appealing, is because people know that
people want to believe that they can be happy all the time. People want to believe
that they'll be happy all the time.
Yeah. So, it's such bullshit though. It's so stupid.
But that's almost the appeal to it, because here it is bullshit, but maybe there it's not.
Right.
Right? So it's like, and I feel like that's the way people were
enslaved.
Tricked,
hey, if you listen
killed,
really good and
sacrificed.
you do your job and you listen to what these priests and these kings and queens are telling you, and you take no money and you starve and blah blah blah, you're gonna go to heaven. You're gonna be happy as long as you do everything that we tell you to do. Everything's gonna be okay for you. But if you start questioning us, if you start doing your own thing, or you start trying to believe in other religions, nope, you're going to hell. It's not gonna happen. It's a form of mind control.
We should just do a religion podcast. We brought it up like 5 times now. We just want to talk about religion.
Yeah.
I just want to rip it apart, even though we don't know much about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, but that's actually, while we're on the religion kind of topic, that's one thing that I do support about religion, is that I think it definitely does bring...
Gives people something to believe in.
It gives people something to believe in. It gives people community, which brings people a sense of happiness.
Big time community.
I think that's the one thing that even the religious friends I have told me. They're like, we don't necessarily like go to church for like God.
Yeah,
we go to church because like our friends are there, family friends are there, our families are there. It's just like a massive gathering on Sunday, right? Like, you don't have to call it church. It's just like, let's go hang out with all these people who believe the same thing we do.
Totally,
like, that's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
So like I see the sense of church. Like I definitely do get like why people are part of that, and like I have a buddy who started going to church and he's not religious. He's just like, I like church. It's like the people there are nice. And it's like, sweet.
I have an interesting kind of anecdote. I don't know if anecdote's the right term for this. I have an interesting experience with a friend of mine, and I recently learned about. I won't say who it is or anything, but I have a friend, and this friend is from a very religious family, very religious themselves.
Very religion.
Very I think Christian, or I'm pretty sure Christian, Catholic.
One of those.
To me, it's all the same thing. Yeah. And very, very religious. And it comes from a religious family, from a very religious community, all that. And they recently kind of expressed to me their frustration with themselves and their level of unhappiness in life, because they don't feel like they feel like they don't want to believe in religion, or they feel like they feel like religion doesn't actually make sense to them, but they also feel like they're going to go to hell, or they're going to be in a really bad place if they decide to stop believing in it. So
they're literally kind of brainwashed.
They're brainwashed.
It's ingrained in them.
It's ingrained, but they're brainwashed in a way that's like they have so much pain in their own life right now, just because they're so conflicted on their own beliefs. Because think about it, if your whole family and your whole community believes in this thing, but then you have these other thoughts in the back of your mind of, what if this isn't real? What if this isn't the truth? And then, especially for like someone who maybe goes traveling or something, you experience all these other religions. You're like, oh my God, this can't be the only, like that can cause so much confusion and frustration. And it makes me wonder what happens on a massive scale of people that have these similar emotions and confusions and frustrations. Like, who knows what kind of damage happens when it's like, oh, if you don't believe in this God, you're going to go to this evil, bad place. It's horrible, blah, blah, blah. You're going to be shunned from maybe your community, whatever. Like, there's so many negative repercussions for that individual to essentially stop believing, or to even just think about believing in other things. That it's like they have to suppress those thoughts and those beliefs in their own mind, because if they start believing in that thing and they stop believing in God, then they're going to go to hell. And like that to me is so fucked up, because it's like you can't even be free in your own thought. Like you can't be a free thinker because you have to believe in this way of thought.
That's the story that he's always watching.
That's so fucked up.
It's fucked up. Like, and I think the first time, because I didn't grow up religious. Like I went to church for the first time like a little over a year ago.
Yeah.
Like I hated it.
It's really boring.
Oh man, after I just like, I wasn't bored. I was pissed.
All the people that go to church are like, fuck these guys.
I was not bored. I was so into it because I was so mad the whole time.
Why?
Because I felt like I was getting brainwashed.
Oh yeah.
I've literally legit, and like going up, people
what
like,
kind of church was it? Like Christian?
It was a massive church. There was like 2,000 people.
What religion?
Christian.
Okay.
But it was.
I've gone to Mormon church before.
It was called
weird.
Beulah. Mormon church would be weird.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm not going to say their name. Mormon. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Similar community. Yeah. Same church.
Yeah. But yeah, it's called Beulah in Edmonton.
Okay.
And it's massive.
Oh really?
It's so there was like between 1,000 and 2,000 people sitting in on this church thing. I guess it's just church, not church thing.
Yeah.
But it legitimately felt like brainwash, and like everything just went back to because Jesus, because Jesus, and like one of the things that I was going to say something else at the beginning of this, but I don't remember because I started thinking about the Beulah thing. Yeah. One of the things that really bugged me is that, because I legitimately, I'm not saying Jesus wasn't a real guy, but the way Jesus is portrayed, the way religion portrays him, is made up. Who the fuck knows what he was actually like? I mean, like, I'm sure.
Yeah, and on that note, so religion is basically, the Bible is not to be taken literally.
Literally, but people take it literally.
People do take it literally. It's not to be taken literally. It's a collection of stories and lessons and morals. Yeah. Which is what defines our Western culture. And what's really interesting that you say, because Jesus, this same friend that I have, I've questioned, like, why do you think this, or why do you think this, or what's it like? Because I always want to know, especially with someone who's really religious. I'm not the kind of person just to be like, oh, fuck off, you Christian, whatever. Like, I genuinely want to know, what's it like? And so I try to like get in those people's mindsets, or get in those people's sort of head of, what is it like believing in this thing? And you know, I really like to dig. You know, I like to dig into thoughts and like get to like the root cause of why someone believes something or whatever. Like I really like doing that. And I remember talking to this person, and I feel like this is the same across the board with anyone that you talk to that's like really religious, is you get to a point where, you know, they're not able to answer or reason with some of these thoughts, and that's what they rely on, is because God says it's such a cop-out though. It's like, it's such a cop-out. It's like, oh, like why if
I think you're like, okay, so I was gonna say, I think one of the reasons that, or one of the things that really kind of bugs me about it is, one, you're basically giving all these people an imaginary friend to rely on, and someone who is so ingrained into their brain that they think is real. And if something happens one day that they go to this imaginary friend who they are told to go to ask for help, and something really fucked up happens to them, and Jesus wasn't there to save them, they're gonna be like, what? Was I lied to my whole life? And that happens like all the time. Like, it's literally like, I used to be religion, but X took care of that, and now I don't. So like, you're basically like setting people up for this extreme shock of like, this savior that was supposed to help me through my life abandoned me. So that's fucked up. One, you shouldn't need Jesus or Santa Claus or fucking whatever to be a good person. When I was in that church, I was looking around, and like, I don't want to like put myself on a high horse, but like, my morals are Christian. Like, at a moral sense, I feel like I am more Christian than a lot of Christians I know.
In a fundamental sense.
In a fundamental sense, like, I grew up on Christian morals without knowing what the fuck Christianity was.
Most of us have. That's what our entire Western culture is based on.
Exactly, but like, I'm pretty good at following my morals, and I grew up around Christian people. A lot of my friends were Christian, and like, I'm way more of a Christian model than a lot of my friends are, who partied and did drugs and drank and slept with tons of people and like all this shit. And I'm like, so why are they allowed to say I'm Christian if they follow like just the littlest little?
Because they believe
because
in
they
God.
Put a quote from the Bible in their Instagram bio. But it's just like people using that excuse to like put themselves over people. And then the other thing that pisses me off about church is that people just like do whatever the fuck they want all week. They could be bad people, they could be good people, but they go to church on Sunday and they're like, just erase that, erase all the bad stuff because Jesus loves me. It's like, you know what? If you're a bad person, if you do bad things, you can pray all you want. Like, you're still a bad person, but like I hate that like it's turned into a thing that like you can go to Jesus and or go to God or whatever you believe in, and he will like somehow wash away all the bad stuff. But like, that's, you know what I feel like we should do? Works.
I feel like we need to get a pastor or a priest, or we need to find someone who's actually in this kind of thing, who knows, because we don't know shit about any of this. Like, let's be honest, like, we don't really know what the fuck we're talking about.
Okay,
we just have our opinions, right?
But I've expressed these frustrations. Okay, so I went to church on Mother's Day because I went with my grandma and my grandma wanted me to go.
Yeah.
The only reason I didn't walk out halfway through is because I was sitting beside my grandma.
Yeah.
And then I was fuming in the car because I was like, oh, just like there's something about religion just like that really gets me deep. I don't care if you're religious, but just like, you know. And then I went to some of my religious friends because a lot of my friends are religious, and I explained I laid everything out. I was like, okay, can I just be completely honest with you about how I felt I felt about this? And they're like, yeah, go ahead. And I just laid it out, and they're like, yeah. And I was like, what? They're like, yeah, we like agree with pretty much most of that.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, but so that's why it's like, it's so ingrained in people that even though a lot of them, probably most of them, agree with most things that people who don't like religion say, they're just like, yeah, but I'm religious.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but why? It's like, because I'm religious.
Yeah.
It's like, why? Because Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, so it's just like, a lot of them don't have a reason. They just go because they go.
Yeah. I think religion is that one, it's one of those things that it's not based in that logical, rational part of the brain. I don't mean that in like a rude way or like I'm trying to like dish religion. I think it is purely, for the most part, based around
religion's taught.
It's very emotional. And if people get community from that, I don't think it has to logically make sense to them for them to go along with it.
No,
because the way you and I think about it is like, oh, logically this makes no sense. Like, look at the way we were looking at heaven and hell. We're like, oh, logically you'll get bored of it. Blah blah blah. It's like, okay, but like religion's not a logical, rational thing because first of all, you can't see it, touch it, taste it, feel it, anything like that. You can't even prove it exists.
Don't you?
So
believe?
it's not even a rational. It just lies in that emotional part of the brain.
Yeah.
So that's why you get people. That's why so many people are religious, and that's why so many people can't really be swayed from that. Is because they're not using that rational part of their brain to figure out why they believe or why they don't. It's just been ingrained in them from such an early age, and it's just part of who they are. It's like fundamentally who they are, and so people will believe it. Yeah. No matter what,
but I guess,
kind of thing.
Who the fuck? No one actually really knows what's right and wrong. So
yeah, I feel like you don't know shit until you like die. I feel like once you pass away.
What do you think happens when you die?
That's another episode. What do I think happens?
Do you actually have like a?
I don't know. I've never died. I have no idea. I've heard different accounts, and I think everyone
never died.
I think everyone experiences something different. From what I've heard, when you die, your body releases a bunch of dimethyltryptamine, DMT, which is like this crazy, powerful psychedelic hallucinogenic drug. It's based in plants, all like animals, all people have them, and basically when you die, your body releases all this DMT, and
that's like your life flashing before your eyes.
Something like that.
Go on like a huge trip.
Something like that, and then who knows what happens after. My thing with like death and the afterlife is what happens to your like consciousness of. How do you, like, what is it like to experience nothing? Because some people, like atheists, will think like, oh, when you die, nothing happens. You're dead. It's lights out. It's like, okay, but you still have to experience that. Because, like, it's like sleep. Some people are like, oh, it's like when you go to sleep. Okay, when you go to sleep, you wake up at some point and, it's like, it's not forever.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. I can't comprehend it.
So
I don't know.
I heard this theory and it's pretty fucking wild. It messes with your head a little bit. So life and death could potentially be like a set of waves in the ocean in that there's intervals between each wave.
Right.
So the wave is life and it builds and it builds and it builds and it crests and then there's an interval and then another wave builds and builds and builds and crests and crashes.
Right.
And builds and builds and builds and crashes. And the building is birth, the crashing is death, and the interval is where your consciousness is just like somewhere where we don't know.
Right. It's like the bigger energy.
It's like the bigger energy. It's whatever. I guess it's like it's like a concept or it's an idea for people who don't necessarily believe in like heaven or hell or like going to one specific place, but also don't think that when you die, you just die.
It's kind of like reincarnation.
It's like reincarnation, but like in a way that it's not like you die and then you wake up in something else. It's like you die and you go to...
your energy
the
just
void,
becomes back into
something,
the universe.
into the universe, and then you become a wave.
So
Started with happiness,
that was
and
intense.
then somehow we got into religion.
Yeah. Don't know how we got there like that, but
I think we've just been. Religion has come up like 3 or 4 times in like our other shows.
we just had to let it out.
We just had to do it.
It's just this pent up kind of thing, and just let it out. Moral of today's video: what makes you happy? That's not really a moral, but what makes you happy?
Yeah, what's the moral? The question.
Yeah. So thanks again for watching, and we hope to continue going forward with this. And it's actually been a lot of fun, and I don't know, I'm enjoying making these videos.
We'll see you at church.
Chill. And we'll see you at the Eddie and Dion church.
We should start a religion.
We're starting our own religion tomorrow.
You can do that.
Yep.
Like Scientology.
Podcast religion.
Podcast religion.
All right. Bye.
Bye.